Wonder Woman 67, G. Willow Wilson writing, Carrie Nord on the art. Oh, Matt's not here to complain about the art. No.
I know.
So Giganta and Wonder Woman are hunting Titans. Yes,
Yeah.
giants. And they're sneaking around in the forest, and for some reason they can't find them. It's weird, and it turns out they're basically pretending to be Earth, and then get up, and then they're
Continue looking it out.
yeah, the rollicking finally ensues. But yeah, there's some entertainment value. I did enjoy the banter between them as Giganta's complaining about nature and all the birds attacking her and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's some great art here. Do you know what's good in the art in this issue?
Go on.
Perspective. There's a lot of good perspective going on with the heights and the sizes.
I think it's important when there's all these different size characters. I think it's really important to show that.
Yeah, but even in panels where like there's nothing else in the panel with Giganta, it does this thing where she still feels that she's tall. Like there's a panel about I don't know 4 or 5 pages in. It's just after Wonder Woman saved the driver, and the top panel is her, like, you know, it's Wonder Woman and him in the foreground, and she's like above them, towering over them. That's an obvious thing, right? Which is fine. The panel under that though, it's just Giganta with a white background looking around. She's got her hand above her eyes, kind of like looking out in the distance, and even though it's just her in a white background, she still feels that she's a giant. And I don't know if it's just as simple as matching the angle of the previous panel. So in your mind, it's like you've still got that sort of perspective.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even matching the angle. I think it's just the fact that we're looking up. Like, she's not looking down, she's looking out, right? Like downwards-ish, but not directly down, like the angle we're looking at, where we're looking straight up. It's
but it's
a
good.
lot tighter than a typical, because obviously, when we talk about, framing, we talk about, the hero pose, you frame slightly upwards. This is a lot tighter than that. It makes you feel like you're craning your neck up to look at her.
Yes. Meaning the artist's done a very good job of keeping that perspective in place.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So, yeah, and then the actual giant fight looks pretty good too, and there's chaos going about, and
lots of great banter, like Giganta when she kicks and it's like, oh shit, you're actually just rocks, that hurt.
Yeah, or when it's about to bash her double with a double axe handle, and Wonder Woman comes flying in and hits him in the face.
Yeah,
just some really good art here. There's a lot of good art in the fighting.
Yeah.
And then eventually,
look great. I love when they get all really shadowy and inky on the Titans.
Yeah, in fact, one of my favorite panel in the whole book is after this it spills towards a diner. There's we see some characters in a diner, like having coffee and whatever. And the next panel, or the next page rather, we get Giganta tackling the giant like here, and it does this effect where it's
only up to just above its knee.
Yeah, but so again, given how well it's handled the scale of how big she is compared to Wonder Woman, this tells you how big he is. But what I love about this full page spread is all of the, not only are they both in like sort of deep inks and shadows, it's all the dust that it's kicking up. So it feels like they're disturbing. It feels like they're disturbing the earth. It's not just that they're big; it's that their size is actually disturbing the natural order of things around them. Like everything in their wake is being affected by it.
No, it's a fantastic image. I do love that panel.
So, no, it's so good. And then the lasso just kind of snaps his neck off, and one of them's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do that. He can't be a real Titan because that wouldn't kill him. That even this lasso wouldn't be able to do that."
Yeah.
So.
Then they go to the diner and then have a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Apologizes for the sword and almost like, I'm out in town. We get plenty of swords in here.
Yeah, and the one thing the giant says is protect the sword, right?
Yes.
Protect the sword. So at the end, we're back with Maggie, and we're back with the mythical creatures, and they see something in the lake. They see something.
She sees something.
She sees something in the lake. And there's actually a moment where she almost kisses one of them. They have a kind of a romantic beat.
Yeah.
But she sees something in the lake. She dives in, and she comes out holding a sword. The final page is a full page spread. If her clothes are wet and she's just standing in the water holding this sword, guys, I think I found something. And so I'm not sure about this detail I'm about to mention here. Has she gotten big?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not sure how deep the lake is that she's there, or if it's shallow.
Because obviously the trees in the background and whatnot, that's just the perspective because of distance, right? That's fine. The thing that's making me think she's gotten tall and she's gotten giant-sized is because where she shows that she's standing in the middle of the water, and it feels like she's gotten tall, but it could just be.
Yeah, I'm not sure because you've got the satyr. You know, he's wading out into it. It's up to roughly his knees. I'm not sure how much further in she is, how deep this actually is, or
That's
if it's.
I'll be honest, I never thought of this when I first read it. It's just when I looked at it there again. Now that I'm looking at it now, I'm like,
I wouldn't say either way is an art mistake though. It's more just we have no perception of how deep the lake is.
that's true. I think what's weird about it is that the book up until this point has been immaculate with making the scale and perspective be very clear. And in this final page, I'm like, has she gotten tall?
I'll be honest, I never even thought about it until you've said that.
But it's just the way the water only comes up to there on her. It feels like she's gotten big.
It does.
Do you know what it is? It's not so much that. I think it's because the idea she has to dive to get it, it implies that it's deep enough that she can could theoretically stand up and underneath it and not be sticking out.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the way she dives, it looks like she's diving down to go under.
It does. But then the panel before she dives, she's like up to her ankles.
Because if it was really that shallow, she wouldn't have to dive. She could just bend over.
Yeah.
And pick it up.
No, I agree. This is weird. I'm not entirely sure.
This is a minor. This is not really a problem. This is like a minor nitpick. Because I actually really like this issue. It's gorgeous. Yeah. The art's fantastic. The character dialogue between them. It was a quick read because it was most of the action with the big giants, but all of it felt big and epic. It felt it felt biblical.
It did, and obviously a lot of this book plays with mythology. Mostly Greek, but are we playing with something Arthurian here? Because obviously it even says next the Lady of the Lake, and it's intentionally playing on that as a beat.
Yeah, maybe.
The sword in the water. I don't know if it's actually playing with that as a plot thing, or if it's just having fun with it because of the scenario, and it's just kind of playing with that as a pun almost.
Maybe playing with it thematically rather than literally.
Yeah,
but
also it could be literal, and I kind of hope it is.
I mean, I don't really care. I have no attachment to.
I'm a sucker for good Arthurian stories.
I do not care about Arthurian stories. But like, I'm fascinated by what this sword actually is. Why do the giants think it needs protected? Because last time I checked, there was no giants like saying, "Oh, kid Arthur, don't be picking that up."
Yeah. I had assumed until we got to this final thing, when protect the sword, I assumed it was metaphorical, like someone is the sword.
Like Dawn is the key.
Mm-hmm.
On the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yes,
just like that. God damn. I'm intrigued. I'm into it.
Yeah, I'm curious. But no, I'm digging Wonder Woman a lot. Wilson's been firing on all cylinders. What are you giving the issue?
8.5.
I'm giving it a 9.
Well, get you.
It was a gorgeous issue. Felt the scale of the combat, and it was delightful to go through. So
that was good.
9 for
me.
me.